Hey, hello. Thanks for taking 5 with me, Wolf Gorlick, few minutes riffing on IT and IT security. Today, looking at the Zero Trust model. But first, repping my 44 con shirt. Thank you guys for having me out there. Had a blast. And one of the things I loved was the Blade Runner theme, right? So you guys might be able to see this is Gaff's, origami chicken. The Blade Runner itself is a classic. It's a fantastic movie, but specifically from a security perspective, Blade Runner is really interesting, right? You got this void conf test to really figure out if a person is real or an android, right? You got this ability to try and peel back whether or not you should trust them. And you ask a series of questions, things like, you're watching television and suddenly a wasp is on your arm. Right now, I just determined which one of you guys are bots. I'm not going to call you out, but you should know, just figured it out. The idea of verifying trust before moving ahead with something is such an integral part of that movie, and it's such an integral part of cybersecurity. So the tip for you is this: if you haven't already, take a look at Zero Trust and how it allows you to determine trust on top of traditional authentication and access control mechanisms. Now, there's a lot of hype about Zero Trust. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of vendors saying a lot of things. I'm going to give you today a simple Zero Trust security model that you can apply for a variety of different solutions to figure out where they work and where they plug into. First, quick jump back in time. Authentication, authorization, and access control. When you're authenticating, you're saying this someone is who they say they are. And we're doing that usually with a combination of username and password, hopefully with additional factors like multi-factor. In passwordless solutions, it's the someone plus those additional factors without the password. Cool stuff. Now we know that that identity is who they say they are. We can go ahead and figure out if we authorize them to do certain things. Broad strokes, right? Do you have the privileges to do what you want to do? And then we can apply access control. Usually like role-based access control, attribute access control. Based on who you are, what specific actions can you take within the system? Now, the issue here is we're trusting along this entire path. We're trusting that the user really is who they say they are based on their factors. We're trusting that they can leverage the authorizations we've given them, and we're trusting at the access control that they can still be trusted to make use of whatever we've given them to do. The secret to Zero Trust is to create a perimeter at the point of authentication, authorization, and access control. In other words, as Wendy Nather once said, Zero Trust is the perimeter becomes wherever you make an access control decision. What that means in practice is that whenever you are authenticating someone and doing the access control, you're enriching that experience and looking for as much context as possible, increasing the visibility, taking the context into account. That could be things like, are they on a good device? Are they coming from somewhere they normally do? Are they accessing what they normally access? Are they behaving in a way that is trustworthy? Feeding into that, you could have behavior analytics, you could have device integrity, you could have patching checks, you could have anti-malware, all the cool stuff that we do in security. You could check at that point of authentication. And if they're not to be trusted, either because they're not who they say they are, or they're on an infected device, or they're behaving suspiciously vis-a-vis a malicious insider, you stop at that point of access control. You don't let them get any further. That effectively creates a perimeter regardless of where they're logging in. Now, the trick to doing a Zero Trust security model, and the trick to evaluating all the vendors, is to figure out where in the authentication that trust is being evaluated and what visibility exists. It could be on the MFA, right? I authenticate through my MFA, that gives me visibility. It could be on the VPN. It could be on the firewall. If it's within an office space, it could be at the network access layer, right at NAC. Each one of these areas is a point of access control. Each one of these areas, because of access control, gives us a different point of visibility. But all vendors effectively are saying, do we trust someone after you're authenticating? And do we trust you to still use the privileges and the rights that we've defined through access control and that we've authorized your account to do? That is the zero trust security model. Does it make sense? Am I missing something? Am I oversimplifying? I am, because it's 5 minutes. Comment, social media, hit me up.